Shout out to our sponsor, Loot Anime.
Loot Anime is a cool subscription crate that sends you really cool anime stuff for only $24.95 each month.
Hatsune Miku is touring the US, so appropriately, this month's theme is music.
Get your leaks out. You can get $3 off a new subscription if you use offer code THEKNOW.
Please touch my buttocks.
Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Meg Turney.
Dim those lights, everybody. It's time for another steamy story about butts. Robot butts.
Oh yes, we love digital butts. Researchers out of Stanford University have previewed a new study about human-robot relations titled Touching a Mechanical Body. Tactile contact with intimate parts of a human-shaped robot is physiologically arousing.
Gosh, I guess it's about time science got around to the good stuff, right?
So excited to be alive!
Yeah, all this scientific progress has been building to this moment.
The study, which was covered by IEEE Spectrum, measured the arousal of test subjects as they touched a humanoid robot on its nutty bits.
So weird.
Yes, so why wasn't I part of this study? The study will be fully derobed in June.
Now, before you get too excited here about the potential of some juicy 50 Shades of Science, we're talking about arousal in the heightened sense of awareness sense, not necessarily the sexual sense. Sexual arousal is a different type of arousal, which can get confusing since we're talking about touching the private nuts and bolts of a robot, but whatever.
Isn't sexual arousal always confusing though? But hey, maybe a couple test subjects got boners anyway.
Probably did.
Although considering the study primarily used the adorable little NAO robot for all its butt touching, maybe it's not very likely.
Well, maybe we should hope that there weren't a whole lot of boners.
That's true. It's like the little Chaozu from Dragon Ball Z. So cute. Only more useful.
Moving on to the actual study, seems straightforward enough, and its findings actually lead the researchers to some interesting conclusions about the way our brains perceive robots.
Test subjects are placed in a room by themselves with the NAO robot. Subjects place one hand on a skin conductance sensor that measured their arousal. Again, physiological arousal, not sexual. Maybe both. Wink. After that,
Not the NAO robot.
No, I know, it's too cute. After that, the NAO instructed subjects to point at or touch different parts of its body.
The NAO takes charge. I like it.
Yeah.
It started innocently enough with the NAO instructing people to point out or touch what the researchers called high accessibility areas, like the hands, the ears, the feet. But then it surprised people by asking them to please touch my buttocks.
Yeah!
It was probably cuter, like, please touch my buttocks.
Seen a lot of porn that starts this way, guys. The buttocks, genitals, breasts, and inner thighs constituted low accessibility areas for the researchers, and they found that, unsurprisingly, people get kind of uncomfortable going to second base with the robot, which led to a heightened physiological arousal.
Scratch that, second base, period. I've arrived. So this is how the robot apocalypse starts. They're gonna hit us all with sexual harassment suits.
Yes, according to the researchers, quote, further evidence of participants' sensitivity to touching low accessible regions of a robot emerged in an analysis of response time, which was longer for participants who touched low accessible but not high accessible areas.
They also found that pointing to the low accessibility areas caused no increase in response time or arousal, but for some reason, touching did.
Because it's weird! How is that for some reason?
It's not that surprising.
It's weird. The researchers guesstimate that this is because the robot appears to be human. It's got a human form. That's something about humanoid robots that just causes our brains to physiologically respond to them as if they were other humans.
Ah, we've seen this in Ex Machina.
Yeah, except I wanted to go to second base on her.
The study goes on to state these responses are not simply an act of playing along. They occur on a deeper physiological level. People are not inherently built to differentiate between technology and humans.
For the researchers, this response initially outweighs our ability to tell ourselves, it's just a robot, bro, which made the subjects more hesitant and uncomfortable when asked to touch droid dong.
Well, there's a surprise. Interestingly enough, this could mean that somewhere in our brains, we apply the same social conventions of touch and interaction to humanoid robots as we do people, which is pretty significant when you think of how much work is going into creating both humanoid robots and artificial systems that we might one day be interacting with on a daily basis.
So for whatever reason, we're just not wired in a way that allows us to be comfortable with dealing with an artificial human. So over time, of course, we'll probably get more used to it, but that also means work needs to be done on the front end to accommodate for our non-robo-friendly brains.
Just makes them not human. Give them all, like, cat heads.
I'd still touch its butt. That's weird, I have a cat. I don't touch my cat's butt.
No, a lot of all this is because robots fall into a weird gray zone for our feeble little human minds. We're very good at separating objects and agents. Objects are ordinary things like trees and rocks that we can throw around and not feel too bad about, while agents have a goal, say a dog or another person. Robots sit right in the middle there, and it can kind of lead to weird reactions.
Back in 2011, a computer scientist ran a study that put people alone in a room with a very crude robot, which was actually just a piece of balsa wood with gears that were controlled by a hidden person in a separate room. The goal of the study was to see if people would attribute agency to what was basically just a stick.
And even though this robot didn't look really human at all, people flipped out because they couldn't figure out its intentions. One person tried to fight the stick, while another person tried to talk it out of attacking them. Some even panicked, claiming the stick wouldn't stop pointing at them.
What the hell? Were these people all on LSD?
He's talking about you behind your back, too.
This stick has lots of intentions. So yeah, of course, existing in that fuzzy spot causes us to have a lot of weird reactions to robots.
Now, new studies are coming out all the time to make headway into this problem. Earlier this year, a PhD student out of the University of Wisconsin-Madison conducted a study about how humans might interact with a robot that responds to their social gaze behaviors. Meaning, whether you make eye contact, you just look at the boobs, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
We can tell.
The study found that when the robot could perceive and respond to your social gaze behaviors, conversations between humans and robots became a lot more fluid. So if you're an introvert, the robot could tell and would change its behavior accordingly.
I need more people to do that.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
Don't look at you.
Eyes right here. Last year, a study from the University of Lincoln demonstrated that, in general, people are actually more comfortable with robots that make mistakes. It found that people enjoy talking to robots that made pre-programmed mistakes in its behavior rather than perfect ones.
For people doing work in this field, these studies are important for understanding the physiological balance of how we perceive robots that look or act like humans.
It might seem inconsequential, but in the future, we could be working closely with humanoid robots in our homes or in public spaces. So this kind of research is going to lay the groundwork for how future humanoids are designed.
And as weird as it is, these robots are also going to need to be able to read and understand human cues and social graces because we're just not all that trustworthy with robots on a fundamental level. Again, that's the whole agents versus objects thing.
Also, robots shouldn't be trusting us. Remember what happened to the hitchhiking robot?
We also shouldn't be trusting robots. I robot anyone.
So if we're uncomfortable interacting with robots that may actually touch us, such as EMTs, disaster responders, other robotic public servants, not a lot's gonna be accomplished if we don't trust them.
That's true. So yeah, it is really good to find this stuff out right now, which is why you've got people like the researchers at Stanford trying to learn how comfortable we are touching their buttocks.
It's for science. So just to make this study take it to its next logical conclusion. Sexy time. We're already doing that with VR though, kind of, right?
Yeah, I
mean,
will
that's
sign
like-
up right away. What do you guys think of this new study about touching robot no parts? Let us know in the comments down below.
And for more news on the sexy world of robots, remember to like this video and subscribe to The Know. Thanks to Loot Anime for sponsoring this update.
Loot Anime sends you over $60 worth of cool stuff starting at $24.95 each month.
And every crate has a theme. This month's theme is music to celebrate Hatsune Miku's US tour.
You also get stuff from Show by Rock, Your Lie in April, Hypersonic Music Club, and more.
Man, someone over at Funhouse is gonna be super excited about this month.
Yeah.